Well, it happened this morning, right off the bat, as soon as I opened my eyes. The bad wolf came to visit yours relentless. Get that fucking trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another fucking friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. Michael McLean, nobullbook.com. You can get a copy of my brand new book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and in Life, at nobullbook.com. You can subscribe to my monthly paper and ink newsletter, October edition, at badassletter.com. That's my Michael McLean world building newsletter, badassletter.com. There is an old Cherokee story, and some people are not sure how true this story is. It doesn't matter whatsoever. I agree with the message, but there's an old native Cherokee tale of the elder talking to a young boy, and they're sitting by the fire, and the elder is teaching the young boy about life. And one of the things that they talk about is, he said, son, he said, inside of you, and he points to the young boy's chest, he said, inside of you, there lives two wolves. Inside of you, there are two wolves, a good wolf and a bad wolf. A good wolf and a bad wolf. And he goes on to explain, he says, the good wolf inside of every man and woman stands for generosity, abundance, kindness, hard work, loyalty, all of these wonderful qualities. Loving attitude, positive attitude, abundance mindset, all of these positive traits and qualities. And inside the bad wolf, inside of each of us, he said, son, he says, the bad wolf stands for scarcity, jealousy, envy, any of these toxic traits that we have inside of ourselves. A scarcity mindset, jealous of other people, envious of other people, sloth, laziness. So inside of us, he said to the young boy, he says, lives the good wolf on one shoulder and the bad wolf on the other shoulder. So the little boy, thinks about it for a few seconds, and then he says to the elder, he says, but which one? We have a bad wolf and we have a good wolf inside of us, and they're constantly fighting. They're constantly battling inside of each other. Which one, grandfather, wins? And the grandfather elder turns to the boy and says, the one we feed. The one you feed. And this is a story that I first heard told maybe a decade ago, and I hear it all the time now, and I think about it at least weekly. The good wolf versus the bad wolf. The good wolf standing for all those incredible qualities of honesty, hard work, abundance, kindness, joy, happiness, and the bad wolf inside us, which stands for scarcity, sloth, laziness, jealousy, envy, all of these toxic negative emotions and traits. And I think about this every day, and it comes to mind, especially this morning, because it is all about the one we feed. In your life, in your world, the results that you're getting from day to day, every single action you take today, is either feeding the good wolf or it's feeding the bad wolf. Period. Every single action you take today, this morning, this afternoon, tonight, every single action you take will be either feeding the good wolf inside of you or the bad wolf inside of you. Period. It's along the lines of the saying, every single thing you think about today, every action you take, every behavior you take today is either building the world of your dreams or it's burning it to the ground. Every single action you take today, every single action that you take is either building the badass millionaire world of your dreams or it's tearing or burning your world to the ground. One or the other. So it always is bad wolf versus good wolf, the one we feed. So this is really something that resonates with me this morning because I got up early on this Monday morning, and there's about 5 days a year, 365 days a year. There's 5 days that yours relentless. I just don't want to do anything. I wake up, I open up my eyes, I don't want to walk, I don't want to read, I don't want to write, I don't want to take my daughter to school, I don't want to train, I don't want to work, I don't want to sit on the boat, I don't want to do anything. I have about 5 of those days a year. And you may have 5, you may have 15. But I'm just like you. There's days where the bad wolf shows up. And today is one of those days. So I woke up this morning and I sat on the edge of the bed and I said my prayers. And then I wrote in my journal for 2 to 3 minutes. I wrote out my one goal. I wrote out 4 things that I was grateful for. I put the journal away. I went in and splashed some water on my face. I used the bathroom. I brushed my teeth. I went back out. I still wasn't feeling it. Didn't want to walk. Didn't want to do the road work. It was a little dark out. I didn't want to do any of it. So I make my bed, and I got those mini victories. So I said my prayer. Okay. I made my bed, mini victory. I went in, I used the washroom, I brushed my teeth, I washed my face, mini victory. And then all my clothes for my road work were laid out the night before. So I have my badass black shirt, I have my ball cap, I have my socks, and my my shorts. So everything's laid out. So another little victory. That stuff is laid out, so I put it on. I don't want to do it, I don't want to go walking, but I'll put this stuff on. So I put this stuff on and I drag my ass downstairs. And downstairs in the kitchen, I say good morning to Emery. She's down there reading since 5 something. And what's waiting for me but 2 glasses of fresh water, 1 lemon water, 1 tap water. So there they are. They're there. I'm not feeling good. The bad wolf is still with me. And I chugged the lemon water. And then I chugged the entire glass of tap water. So now I got 2 glasses of water in my body. It's helping my kidneys flush. It's helping my liver cleanse. It's helping the brain fog lift. And all of a sudden, I start feeling a tiny bit better. I still don't want to walk. I still don't want to shoot a video. I still don't want to go outside. But I've got a bunch of mini victories right now. So I walk to the front door, and what's waiting for me at the front door? The leash for Cliffy, for my dog, and my shoes. And I put on my shoes, and I put on my rucking vest, my 25-pound rucking vest that I wear every day to walk, to make it tougher, to make it more difficult, to burn more calories. And then my phone is over there with this broken iPhone 7 and broken gimbal, and it's all laid out. I literally would have to push this stuff out of the way. So I have all that stuff on. And I sit on the little bench there, and I'm like, man, I don't want to walk today. But here's the thing. Because I've controlled my environment, and I've had like 7 mini wins, I got up, I said my prayers, I made my bed, I brushed my teeth, I put on my road work clothes, I I drank 2 glasses of water, 1 lemon water, 1 tap water. I got my rucking vest on. I got my running shoes on. I've got my video camera ready. I've got like 6, 7 victories. So I'm starting to feel a little bit better, right? Tiny, tiny wins. So all of a sudden I'm like, get outside and put one foot in front of the other. Get outside in nature. So it was nice. The sun's coming up. It's cool, the fresh air. There's some deer up in the field and some squirrels and chipmunks. And I get out here and Cliffy's with me now. He's ready to go. And it's interesting. It's the start that stops most of us when it comes to everything. But when you control your environment like I just did there, I didn't use willpower for any of this. Willpower's for chumps. Willpower's for chumps. It's for men who are not serious. If you're using willpower as a diet, if you're using willpower not to drink, if you're using willpower not to gamble, if you're using willpower to walk or train or write or read, you're not serious about building your own world. Willpower is for chumps, and environment is for champions. Environment is for contenders. It's for kings. It's for guys that accomplish things. Willpower is for chumps. So when I got up, here I am outside, and now I got the momentum. The bad wolf is losing. And the good wolf has a chance now because of environment. So I say to myself, okay, I'm going to walk up here to the corner. So I walk up to the corner and I'm starting to feel a tiny bit better. I still feel sluggish. I'm not at my best. The bad wolf is still there on my shoulder, right? As soon as I woke up, he said, go back to bed. And then as soon as I walked in, as soon as I was done saying my prayers, he said, sleep in another hour. And then when I was brushing my teeth and splashing water on my face, he was like, you can miss a day. And then when I was putting on my clothes, my training clothes here, he was saying, just go grab a coffee and take Emery to school. You don't have to walk today. And then when I went downstairs and chugged the 2 glasses of water, in my mind, the bad wolf was saying, just go ahead and drive into town and get a cup of coffee and come back. Take today off. You've worked hard, Michael. You've done this for numerous days. You've done 280 of these, 300 videos in a row. You can miss one day. And the bad wolf kept talking, but his voice got a little bit lower and lower and lower as I kept these little victories going. And they were all environment victories. So once I got out here on the trail, on the road, I walked, 10 steps, 25 steps, 100 steps. And then I never looked back again. I started to feel better. I was feeling sore. My legs were sore from skating. I've been back on the ice training the kids. I've been doing power skating. I've been getting good rest. I've been hydrating. I do not know why the bad wolf came to find me today, but that's the way the bad wolf, he comes when you never suspect it. And that's why you've got to control your environment. That's why you need a clean environment. So because my environment here, when it comes to walking and reading and writing and nutrition and exercise and mental health is so disciplined, I hardly ever have to depend on willpower. The only thing I used willpower this morning, literally, was to get my ass up and splash some water in my face. That's it. That's the only thing I used a little bit of willpower for today to combat the bad wolf. So it was amazing. All of a sudden, I did a brain dump on the first half hour of my walk. And all this stuff that had been bothering me for some reason, we got a busy schedule coming up. We're heading to Florida for a while. I'm going to Russell Brunson's funnel hacking in Orlando in a week. I'm back coaching hockey, power skating, all this stuff. And it was just an amazing walk where this stuff it's a brain dump the first 30 minutes. And then the last 40 minutes of my 15,000 walk road work is, I'm just like, I'm excited about this. I've got this solution. I'm going to do this. These are the 3 things I'm going to do today. These are the 4 things I'm going to do today. And man, by the time I walked back in this front door, I was in 3rd gear today. I was in 3rd gear. and there was no stopping me. I went upstairs, I had a quick shower, put on some fresh clothes, packed up my book to read, and my MacBook Pro, and I'm taking Emery to school. And as soon as I drop her off at school, I'm just going to go read for an hour with a piping hot cup of coffee. That's my reward. That's beating the bad wolf reward. And then I'm going to copyright. I'm going to do my Operation Money Suck for probably 3 hours today, but I'm going to do a solid hour to start. Set a timer, put my fingers on the keyboard, and write something that brings me money. It's going to be email day today. I'm going to write about 5 straight emails. And then I'm going to write a telegram today, and I'm going to write 2 articles for my newsletter. So it's going to be a bring me money day. It's going to be a huge money suck day. And then because I was feeling stiff and sore and fatigued this morning, I'm going to have a nice afternoon nap today. After lunch, I'm going to eat lean today. I'm going to drink a gallon and a half of water today. But this afternoon, I'm going to lie down and I'm going to sleep. I'm not even going to set an alarm for 30 minutes like I normally do. I'm going to sleep, if I can, for 45 minutes, just, on the couch or upstairs in the bed, and just see if that helps me get some of my relentless energy back. So I just wanted to share that. Cliffy, what are you doing, buddy? He gets 2 walks a day. He's 8 pounds now lighter. He was 7, now he's 8 pounds lighter. Walking works for him as well. So I just wanted to share that story with you about how the bad wolf comes to my door too. I'm not any different than you. The bad wolf is there. He's slippery. He's sneaky. He's there when you least expect it. He's there in the morning. He's there in the evenings. He's there when you sleep. But if you're using willpower, you have no chance to win. You have no chance to win long term. You need to use environment. And this is something that I show my men what to do in my new book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business. That book is about controlling environment. That book is about building the world of your dreams. Well, what's more about environment than building your own kingdom, right? And it shows and teaches you that willpower's for chumps and environment is for champions. I teach my guys every single month in my Michael McLean World Building newsletter. I always write at least 1 article about environment, how I'm building my environments to better serve myself, to repel toxic people, to repel toxic habits and substances and routines, to constantly be curating and cutting the rope with negative forces. That's all about environment. I talk about that every single month, how to do that in my paper and ink Michael McLean World Building. I talk about it in my telegrams to my newsletter subscribers, my platinum guys. I talk about how to build an incredible badass millionaire environment and how to not depend on willpower. And the same in my mastermind programs. It's about environment, where we meet, the meeting rooms, the food we eat, the restaurants, the people I allow into those groups. I'm just constantly teaching how to constantly up-level your environment. The people in your world, your employees, the people you associate with, the stuff, the inputs you allow into your mind, whether it's the news, social media, politics, the books you read, the magazines you read, the fitness center you attend, what's your vehicle like, what's your home like, what's your lake house like, everything, controlling every aspect of your environment so you're stacking the deck. I teach my guys in my books and in my programs and in my newsletter how to stack that deck, how to give yourself an unfair advantage over the bad wolf. We stack the deck against the bad wolf. I don't drink alcohol anymore. And people are like, Michael, how do you do that? How do you just stop drinking alcohol? Well, first of all, you decide. You don't, I decided. And the second thing is I got rid of all the alcohol in my environment. I couldn't have a beer right now if I wanted one. I couldn't have a drink of scotch. I couldn't have a drink of whiskey right now if I wanted to, because there's not a single drop in my environment. For me to misbehave, for me to cheat myself, I'd have to drive into town. I'd have to go to the liquor store. I'd have to buy liquor. I'd have to buy mix. I'd have to buy ice. And then I'd have to go and sneak around. So I've made it almost impossible in my environment to misbehave. Like, I didn't want to walk this morning. The bad wolf was there. But you know what? It made it impossible to me to misbehave because my clothes were all set out. The water was already set out. My weight rucking vest was already set out. The dog helps me. He wants to go for a walk. He's whining. He's crying. The leash is set out. My broken iPhone was set out. The gimbal I used to shoot these videos was set out. Do you see where I'm going? I stack the deck every day. And this is what I teach in my book and in my programs and in my newsletters and my masterminds. I teach my guys every day how to stack the deck, how to build an environment, how to build a world, how to build a kingdom where it's next to impossible for you to misbehave. You decide, my guys decide what they no longer will tolerate in their life. People, substances, inputs, anything that's toxic and cancerous, they get rid of it in their life, and I teach them how to keep it out of their life and how to be constantly curating and cutting the rope with any future toxic people, toxic substances, toxic habits, toxic inputs, anything like that. I help them build a world. I help them build a world through my books and newsletters and masterminds where, man, oh man, it's hard to misbehave when the bad wolf comes. So that's my story for today. If you'd like a copy of my book, nobobook.com. If you'd like to subscribe to my righteous newsletter, the Michael McLean World Building Newsletter, badassletter.com below. I'll send you a t-shirt and some other nice things with it. Just remember, there's a good wolf and a bad wolf inside of all of us, and the one that dominates is the one we feed. But no matter how much we feed the good wolf with good books, good inputs, staying away from social media, staying away from the news, staying away from politics, hanging out with outstanding people, walking, reading, praying, all this great stuff, on those days when, not if, when the bad wolf comes like me today, that's where environment kicks in for you. That's where willpower's not going to save you. That's where you got that craving for sugar. You got the craving for alcohol. You got the craving for nicotine. You've got a craving for, television. You got a craving for politics. You got a craving for bad foods. You got a craving for whatever it is that doesn't serve you. When you control your environment, the bad wolf, you stack the deck against that bad wolf. You stack the deck against the bad wolf, and that way you can kick that bad wolf in the ass on those rare days where he does come to visit. Willpower's for chumps, environments for champions. Remember to do what I do. Tell your wife and your children, no matter where they are, how much they mean to you every single day. Hug them, kiss them, and tell them they're the most important people in the world to you. And most importantly, back it up. 2 words, be there. Be there mentally and physically. Put the phone away, enjoy dinner. When you're at dinner, be at dinner. When you're watching a show with your wife, be watching a show with your wife. When you're home after 5 o'clock at night, be home after 5 o'clock. You're spending time with your kids, your teenagers, your adult children, be there. Leave the phone. Get in the habit of starting to leave the phone at home for an hour, for 2 hours, for 3 hours, for half a day. Just leave it at home, lock it in the trunk, whatever, and be there with the most important people in your life. That's it for today. The bad wolf was at Audie Lake today, and he came roaring in. I never saw him coming, but that's his job. His job is to never, ever, ever have the person. But you know what? I'm so proud that I passed the test again. I passed the test again because of environment. And if you want to learn more about iron proofing if you want to learn more about stacking the deck and making it next to impossible for you to misbehave, grab a copy of my book or sign up for my newsletter. That's it. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll change your life. Be relentless.